All right. Good evening. Good evening. Monday Night Football. Let's get it. I see Mono Ghost was in here early. His Jets took a bit of a hard loss yesterday, so I'm feeling the pain of that one too, though. I got a lot of Zach Wilson tweets at me. Danny will be here shortly. He's just finishing a workout. All right, Mono Ghost, need to see something out of Aaron Jones tonight. Yes, I do as well in one of my leagues. I believe I have Aaron Jones. I think I need like 14 out of him or something like that. I think this is going to be a big Aaron Jones game, though. The Lions, they couldn't even stop Elijah Mitchell last week. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to have any problem getting things done. I actually think if you guys are doing DFS tournament lineups too, I think AJ Dillon might be in this game late to kind of salt the game away. Spicy hot, yes sir, of course. Rendon says, "What's up? Should I drop Will Fuller for Rondell more?" I probably wouldn't drop Will Fuller if I can help it. If I'd like to know who your other options are, who you can drop, and who you can. I definitely think Rondell Moore is a great waiver wire ad, but I would like to know what your other options are in terms of who you can drop because I would like to hold on to Will Fuller. Do you consider Kupp a wide receiver one after these two games? Jan, Kupp was my wide receiver 13 coming into the season. So he was almost a wide receiver one before the season started. I'm really excited. I'm really impressed with what I've seen out of Kupp so far. Him being basically, we saw in 2018, coming off the torn ACL, Cooper Kupp was like the wide receiver, 5 in fantasy for 8 weeks or whatever. And then he got injured again. This guy legitimately has big play upside. He has touchdown upside, and Stafford is really, really kind of showcasing that. And when Goff was playing well in 2018, we already saw that with Cooper Kupp. So I'm glad I got a lot of Cooper Kupp shares because he was a guy that I was really high on coming into the season. I do consider him a wide receiver one now. I think that this offense is going to be good enough to support him getting, 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns type of season. The Shore Caller says, I need a big game out of DeAndre Swift. LOL. Yeah, I have him in 2 leagues. I don't actually need a huge game out of him in either one. I think I'm pretty much going to win without him having a big game, but I'd like to see him have another big game, obviously, because I own him in 2 of my 3 redraft leagues. Jared says, Titans trying to give me a damn heart attack. Yeah, pretty much. That Titans game was really close, man. A lot of those 4 o'clock games were actually really entertaining. The 1 o'clock slate was just horrid. It was so boring. Who is the number one waiver priority? Now, Danny is going to talk about this tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. or whatever. He's going to drop the waiver video, but the number one waiver priority for me is pretty clearly Sony Michel, especially if you guys need a running back. If Sony Michel is available in your league, Darrell Henderson is expected to miss a couple of weeks, the last report that I saw. So if Sony Michel is available in your league, I think Sony Michel is definitely the number one pickup in my opinion. I also like, Rondell Moore, who we talked about already. I like Henry Ruggs had a big game. I think he could, see his role kind of increase as we go forward. And I think Justin Fields, whether or not Justin Fields is going to start the game or not, because it sounds like Andy Dalton's not, he is not seriously injured. So there's a good chance that Andy Dalton does start again. I still think Justin Fields is a guy that you should be stashing on the end of your benches if you have, a Ryan Tannehill level quarterback or worse, because once Justin Fields takes over the starting job, then you'll be able to play matchups with those kind of 2 quarterbacks. And Justin Fields, we saw it in his limited action. He was running like crazy. So he could give you a Jalen Hurts type of end of the season whenever he takes over the starting job. Spicy Hot says, on the other hand, I need Aaron Jones to score less than 3 in the listener Dino League. Yeah, I actually want to look at my matchup real quick right now because I don't remember exactly what I need to happen in that league. I think I'm already going to win anyway. I just want to be sure. Yeah, I think I'm playing Jared right now. And I need I only need 3 points out of Devontae Adams. Oh, actually, sorry. I need Devontae Adams to outscore AJ Dillon by 3 points. So I think I should be just fine from that perspective. But crazier things have happened. With the news of Fields playing this weekend, who do you play? Burrow, Trevor, and Fields. Okay, do we have 100% confirmation that Fields is actually playing? Because the recent report I saw when I was golfing earlier today is that Andy Dalton avoided serious injury, and Matt Nagy came out and said that he's still the starting quarterback. So I have no idea if Andy Dalton is playing or if Justin Fields is playing. If I'm being honest, I kind of took a little bit of a slack day today. So Justin Fields, if he does play, I would still probably play Joe Burrow, but Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence for sure. How many chances do I have to give CEH, my man? How many? I mean, I own him absolutely 0 places. I never drafted him in underdog. I never drafted him in any of my leagues because I didn't believe in the guy. And it's looking like one of my better calls so far this offseason was not buying into CEH because that hypothetical upside that we saw in the Chiefs offense that we think he has because of what we saw Kareem Hunt do in previous running backs in Andy Reid's system, CEH just doesn't have it. So if you drafted CEH, I'm really not sure what I'd be doing in this situation. Hopefully you sold him last week, like I mentioned in the trade targets video, but with CEH right now, like I think it might be time to sell for 80 cents on the dollar, 90 cents on the dollar, whatever that ends up being. Somebody DM'd me today and asked if they should sell him for Myles Gaskin and Bryan Edwards. I think like if you can get something like that for CEH, I probably would sell him, but I don't know who's going to be willing to buy CEH right now. That's the only problem with me is I'm just a little bit nervous about him. Dona, what's up, boys? It's just boy right now until Danny gets in here, but put up the second most points in my league this week and got Derrick Henry. Yeah, I actually got Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp in one league. Both guys basically shit on me, so that definitely was not helpful. Okay, so Rendon says Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Tyler Boyd, Jerry Jeudy, Chase Edmonds, and Tua and Will Fuller, Marvin Jones, but Judy's in the IR spot, so I can't drop him. Okay. So you asked if you should pick up Rondell Moore using Will Fuller. I would drop. I'd like to know who your other quarterback is. Maybe you have if you have like a high end quarterback, I'd probably just drop Tua for Rondell Moore if I'm being honest, because I'd rather hold on to all of those guys that you have than Rondell Moore. So I just personally wouldn't pick up Rondell Moore, or I would drop Tua for him because I think especially like Edmonds and Boyd and like those guys are usable in your lineup each and every week. So I don't really want to be dropping those guys. Josh says, yo, Bush, what should I do with Keenan Allen? Mike Williams looks like the alpha. Keenan Allen, he's going to make an appearance on tomorrow's trade targets video because I do think Mike Williams, while he looks like he's, taking it a step forward in his career, I still think Keenan Allen's the alpha receiver here. I'm not going to be skewed by a 2-week sample size of Mike Williams looking good. I am definitely encouraged. If you guys did draft Mike Williams, it looks like you got a, steal as like a wide receiver 4 type that's turning into like a wide receiver 2, but I'm buying low on Keenan Allen if I can because he's still every bit the alpha receiver that I think he can be. Dona says, man, what are the chances of a team not scoring? Bills D destroyed my chances. Yeah, man, that sucks. I hate playing. That's why I actually removed defenses from like all the leagues that I play in standard redraft leagues because defenses just kind of annoy me. Like they're so random sometimes. All it takes is like a random pick 6 or like something like that to just completely ruin your week. I'd rather just rely on offensive players. Are we still confident in Saquon? I drafted him. So if you guys drafted Saquon Barkley, and I did in one of my redraft leagues, I think you basically just have to stand the course right now. You can't sell Saquon Barkley because you will not get what you paid for him. So if you drafted Saquon Barkley, I'm afraid you are stuck holding him. The encouraging thing is that he played like 85% of the snaps last week. He's still kind of getting slowly ramped up into his full workload. So again, if you can get by, if you can scrape by some wins, if you're 1-2, 1-3, even like 2-2 or something like that, by the time Saquon gets his full workload and his full allotment of snaps, I think by that point, then you're going to really reap the benefits of having Saquon Barkley and you can go on kind of a big run in your fantasy league. But the combination of him playing tough defenses and him being ramped up from his injury is obviously not going to give you the production that you wanted when you drafted this guy in the first round. But I'm afraid if you did spend the draft pick on Saquon Barkley, you have to hold pat. You cannot sell him right now because if you sell him, you're going to get like 70 cents on the dollar. And unlike CEH, I expect Saquon to bounce back because I know Saquon Barkley is one of the most talented 3 running backs in the NFL. Jared says, I need Adams to have literally 1 catch for less than 10 yards to beat you in the listener league. Yeah. So you need AJ Dillon to outscore Devontae Adams by 3 points. So you're going to need like a long run out of AJ Dillon or something like that, because I'm expecting Devontae Adams to just go absolutely nuts in this game. If I'm being honest, I think he's going to go absolutely crazy. Rendon says 2 QB leagues, so I don't know about dropping 2. Okay, yeah, don't drop 2 at Tagovailoa then if it's a 2 QB league. If I'm being honest, Rendon, I probably wouldn't drop anybody unless we hear some more negative news about Will Fuller. Like maybe then you can drop him, but I like every bench piece that you have better than Rondell Moore can add to your team. Your team is like very solid, so maybe you could try floating one of those like Broncos running backs to somebody or something like that. But I think I would rather just sit pat with what you have than drop Rondell Moore. Just excuse my dog. She's barking like crazy. Spicy Hot says, hit a like on the way in, boys. Yes, of course. If you guys haven't already liked the stream, go ahead and do so. If you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy my dog barking, then you can hit the subscribe button as well. We'll be coming at you every day, all week, through the entire season with tons of content. So stay tuned for that. Uzi says, yo, what's up? What's up? Burner says superflex dynasty half PPR. Which round should... Okay, hold on. My dog barking is distracting me. Superflex Dynasty, half PPR, which round and year draft pick to get for Derek Carr? So if a contender is willing to give you a first-round pick for Derek Carr, I would definitely be moving him. Any kind of first-round pick, 2022, 2023, 2024 even. If you're a rebuilding team, I'm okay moving Derek Carr for something like that. If you can't get a first for him, I would try and get, Derek Carr... you try and trade away Derek Carr plus like a young receiver for a first or something like that. If I can't get anything like that for Derek Carr, I'm probably just going to hold pat and hold on to him because I think he has got some pretty good value as a QB2 in a super flex or a QB3 if somebody has a high-end quarterback. So that's kind of my thoughts on Derek Carr. He's one of those guys that is like kind of like no man's landy for Dynasty, but if you do have him on your roster, hopefully you're contending because I think he's going to be most valuable to whoever is the contending team. J Peach says, exhales huge dab cloud. Yeah, for sure. Is Kamara someone to panic about or should I trust him? Again, another guy that you need to be trading for if you don't already, or if you are worried about Kamara or if you guys own Kamara, don't trade him away because he is a guy that is going to bounce back. He is, again, one of the most talented 3 running backs in the NFL. This offense is designed to operate through Alvin Kamara. It's just one bad game. I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara one bit. I don't think he's, suddenly not as good with Drew Brees or any kind of narrative that some people might be thinking of. Just hold pat on Kamara, continue to put him in your starting lineup. Don't worry about him. He should be just fine, especially if you're in any kind of PPR league. Hey, what's up? Are Rondell Moore and McKissick worthy of a top 3 waiver wire ad? I would be dropping Elijah Moore or Beasley. No, I think I would rather have all those guys than Rondell Moore. Now, I'm a big time Elijah Moore believer. So if you don't believe in Elijah Moore as much as I do, then I'm okay dropping him for Rondell Moore. But I personally believe in Elijah Moore more, pun intended. So don't drop anybody for those guys. I would rather have both Cole Beasley and Elijah Moore for Rondell Moore than JD McKissick because JD McKissick is going to be a guy that is involved and it's going to be annoying for Antonio Gibson owners, but I'm not expecting you're ever going to know when to start JD McKissick, and I don't think his role is going to be as big as it was on Thursday each and every single week. He's a guy that if you have on your roster at the end of your bench or something, I would be trying to sell him. I would try and package him with somebody and try and sell him coming off that big Thursday night primetime game where everybody saw him do really well. Then you could probably get something good for him. But if I were you, I would just hold pat there. Spicy Hot Plus, yep. How big a game do you think Tunyon will have tonight? I need a big night from him to win my matchup. 25 points. 25 points is tough for a tight end. Like it's really tough for anybody like not named Kelsey or Waller to get that kind of output. So with Robert Tunyon, you'd probably need like a 10 target, 7 reception for 110 yards and like 2 touchdowns type of game where he gets like a big play or something like that. That's pretty hard for Tunyon to have happen. Just because he's not like the number 1 target in his offense like a Kelsey or like a Waller are. So you're going to need multiple touchdowns and probably a big play for that to happen. So he could have a big game in this one, but I think a big game for a guy like Robert Tunyon is like 16, 17 points. I think he'd be hard pressed to get to 25 unless it's like a full PPR league and he catches like 9 balls, but I don't think that's going to happen most likely. So praying for you there. Spicy got destroyed flat in the redraft listener. Like, yeah, you did. I did see that. Need an RB2. Is James White worth a priority in full PPR? Yeah, absolutely. If you have your, highest priority waiver wire ad, go get James White. If you need an RB2, he's the perfect guy. If you're running like a hero RB type of build and you have Dalvin Cook or something like that, and then your receivers, tight end, quarterbacks all stacked, James White's the perfect RB2 in a full PPR. He's a guy that I think Mac Jones is going to rely on a lot as he's learning the Patriots offense because he's an easy target for him to get completions to. It's a 2 QB. Okay, so in a 2 quarterback league, I would start if Justin Fields is the starting quarterback this week and it's announced, we know that beforehand, I would start Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence 100% because I don't like what I've seen from Trevor Lawrence. And on top of that, Trevor Lawrence isn't running a whole lot. And I know Justin Fields in the limited action that we've seen of him is going to run. So from that perspective, that just makes him even safer. What would you rank Hawkinson for tight ends? If you were able to trade for him, can you give examples of trades that he would be worth? So if I tried to trade for Hawkinson, I typically, as like a rule of thumb, don't want to trade for players after big weeks. So if you want to trade for Hawkinson, I would say hope for a down game in this one. Hope he doesn't, maybe he only gets like 5 targets or something like that in this game, and then trade for him. Because I think when you trade high for somebody, unless it's like really obvious that they're going to continue getting high workload, and that usually only applies to running backs, I would say just hold pat and don't trade for him. But if you can, I would probably try and trade like a wide receiver for him, like a mid wide receiver 2 if you can. I'm trying to think of somebody like just below a guy like Adam Thielen or something like that. If you could trade somebody like that for TJ Hawkinson, I'm sorry I can't give you like a better example, but that's kind of like the type of player I would trade for TJ Hawkinson type. If you can trade away like a mid wide receiver 2 for TJ Hawkinson, I would be willing to do that. If you're looking for another tight end to pair with somebody, if you could trade away like Fant and I don't know, like Ayuk or something and get up to Hawkinson, maybe you do something like that. I'm kind of just spitballing here. Pensman Sports says, how do I get more views on my channel? I mean, I suppose I could help you out with that. Just DM me on Twitter and I can give you some tips. J Peach says, like I said, pre-draft, if you had the 2 to 3 pick, take Henry with confidence. My bold take would be that he finished RB1. Okay. The weird thing about Derrick Henry is that he's like legitimately catching like he has like 9 targets on the season or something like that, which is insane for Derrick Henry because he never gets any receiving workload. And honestly, Danny was a lot more on the train of fade Derrick Henry than I was. It's so hard for me to say, don't draft Derrick Henry. Like he's going to regress. He had his like ceiling year last year because I think those takes are just fucking bullshit, to be honest. So with Derrick Henry, he's a guy that I'm just much more willing to bet on because I think he's just that freaky. I think we're watching a Hall of Fame running back in his prime, and a lot of people are just going to fade him for no absolute reason. So I'm on board with you there, J Peach. I'm down 54 points with Rodgers, Adams, and Swift to play. Am I good? I think you got a good chance. I wouldn't say it's a lock that you get that, but I'd say like probably 60% chance that you get that because Rodgers and Adams very well could get that on their own. And if they score up a lot of points, then there's a good chance that Swift catches a lot of balls in this one too. So I think you're okay there. Congratulations on the Raiders. They looked good. Yeah, the Raiders are looking pretty good. Not even going to lie. And I know Spicy Hot's loving the Henry Ruggs touchdowns. I'm loving every second of that. I'm down by 13 with DeAndre Swift and Devontae Adams to play. Only problem is my opponent has Aaron Rodgers left, so praying Swift has a huge game. Yeah, that's a dicey situation to be in, so you got to hope for a lot of targets, but not a lot of touchdowns for Devontae Adams. So if you play in a PPR league, I think you'd be better served to kind of get that points and make that up that way. But I also have DeAndre Swift and Devontae Adams going in my home league today, but I'm only down by 6 points, so I should be good. Follow up to my question, I have Gibson, so is it a good idea to add Mckissick as a handcuff? I mean, I suppose, but I think if anything happened to Antonio Gibson, Jarrett Patterson would probably become the early down runner, and JD McKissick would keep his role. So yes, you would probably see an uptick if anything happened to Gibson, but I think I would rather just sit pat with what you have. I can't exactly remember what you had, but I would rather keep, I think it was Elijah Mitchell and somebody else, than add a guy like JD McKissick because you're kind of just capping your upside a little bit. I don't think Gibson going down would make McKissick like an RB1 necessarily. I think Jarrett Patterson would probably be pretty involved if that happened. Okay, yeah, you already said that. For week 3, do I start Callaway, Edwards, Pascal, or Michael Carter? 0-2 right now, despite being 5th in my league in points in a 12-man league. Yeah, so I don't even know who those guys are playing yet. I don't look ahead into the slate until like Tuesday, Wednesday, so I can't really answer that question yet. But from what I've seen from these guys so far, it looks like Pascal has the biggest role. But again, I have no idea who these guys are playing, so I can't really answer that question. Is panic mode? Who's panic mode? Need Adams to outscore Tunyon by 4. I think you should be good there, Frank. Hopefully it's like a PPR too. That'll help you out. JP, yep. Raiders, yep. Would you try and sell Saquon now or wait to see how he looks with a bigger workload? Like I said before, do not sell Saquon Barkley. If you drafted Saquon Barkley, these were the risks. You needed to be patient with him, and you're going to have to be patient. If you sell Saquon Barkley now, you're just sinking that first-round pick, and you're taking, whatever you can get for him. Because I'd imagine all you're going to get for Saquon Barkley right now is like maybe like a Gibson, Jonathan Taylor type of running back. And that's like a round of ADP that you're going to lose when you kind of should have known going in that you were going to need to hold Saquon and be patient. Yeah. So Pensman, just reach out to me on Twitter here. I can't really give advice on the YouTube space just because I'm, answering people's questions. Spicy Guts is 2-0, baby. Yep, for sure. Is it panic mode with Dak or just more they wanted to get the running game going? Yeah, I wouldn't be panicking about Dak one bit. He'll be just fine. Do I start Ayuk? That pick has really burnt me so far, so I don't know when to start him. So over your other options, I personally would rather start Ayuk than those guys. I know like he hasn't been running a full complement of snaps and stuff like that. I'd monitor his situation closely, and I think I'd rather start Ayuk than the guys that you mentioned because none of those guys are like world beaters by any means. Yes, sir, J Peach. I think Swift puts up some big numbers. Yeah, I hope so too. 8-man PPR, start 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs, Kittle, and one of Tyson Williams, Gaskin, Javonte for AJ Brown. I don't think Tyson, Gaskin, or Javonte gets in my lineup anytime soon. I got Henry, Aaron Jones, Mixon, and Carson the flex. Are you asking to trade Tyson Williams, Gaskin, and Javonte for AJ Brown? I think that's a little bit too much to give up. I know it's an 8-man league and you need studs in that kind of format, but if you could just get him for 2 of those guys, I would definitely do it. But like you said, I don't hate it because they're never going to get in your lineup based on the guys that you have there. So it's not the worst trade in the world, but I think I would rather, not give give up quite that much for a guy like AJ Brown. In Dynasty, what would you give up for Zeke right now? Also, what is the value of AB right now? So in Dynasty for Zeke, he's just a guy that I don't want to trade for, if I'm being honest. It's not that I don't believe in Zeke or think he's going to be good. I just don't want to trade for the guy because that immediately caps my flexibility, I would say, because I'm immediately in a winning window right now. So if you're in a winning window and you're willing to accept that and know that you should probably ride Zeke until he is no longer usable for fantasy, because I think that's the best course of action with Zeke Elliott, then what I'm willing to do with Zeke Elliott is probably give up a first round pick if it's going to be late. So that is probably the most I would give up for him, though. And that's only if I'm in a 100% winning window I'm trying to win this year. With the value of AB, I mean, it's all going to depend. Again, with Zeke Elliott and Antonio Brown, both of those guys are at the tail end of their primes. I would say you're better off just holding them if you are a contending team. But if you are a rebuilding team, if you can get a young receiver, maybe Elijah Moore in a 2nd round pick or Elijah Moore in a 3rd round pick, even I would probably do for Antonio Brown if you're trying to rebuild. So that's kind of just some off the cuff things that you could go for those guys. 49ers need to just not play a running back from now on and go 5 wide. Shotgun on every snap. You know what they should do? They should just put Deebo Samuel in the backfield so Brandon Ayuk could get targets. Yeah, the 2 pick sixes from the Bucs really screwed me. Yeah, Mike Edwards kind of did the Lord's work there. I'm not going to lie. I had the 2nd highest scoring this week. LOL, Henry went off. Yeah, that hurts. Carr passing lead in the NFL, AFC North soft. I do recall Danny and Bush laughing when I said we'd beat the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, the Steelers are kind of figuring things out right now, so it doesn't actually really surprise me all that much that they're off to a bit of a slow start because they are installing like a completely new system right now. Ben's been playing in the same system for a couple of years, so it doesn't surprise me that the Steelers are getting off a little soft. There are like no tight end options in my league either. Yeah, that sucks. Do you think Green Bay's defense will play good today? My opponent needs 10 points for him to win. Yeah, that's a little sketchy, man, because Jared Goff is definitely prone to some mistakes. They have a young offensive line, especially with Penei Sewell in Detroit. So there's a chance that Green Bay gets to Jared Goff pretty early and often. So it's a little sketchy, man. I'm hoping Jared Goff can put up some points and avoid some turnovers so you don't get beat there. Yep, for sure. Okay. Expecting Adams to go nuts tonight. Yep. I hope so, Jared, so I can beat you in the listener league. Do you think Watson will be traded to the Dolphins? It's definitely possible. I'm not really sure how they're going to handle this situation. Do we have an update on Tua's injury? Actually, again, I haven't really looked into some of the injuries that have happened this week. So if we have an update on Tua that anybody can provide me, that'd be appreciated. Rodgers is going to go off tonight. Of the question, minimum 2 to Devontae Bush. Are you getting nervous about Ayuk yet? Yeah, I am getting a little nervous about Ayuk. But if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I literally just traded for Brandon Ayuk in my home league. I traded away Robbie Anderson and Rondell Moore for Brandon Ayuk. Now, you guys might be like, holy crap, you gave up a lot for him. But I still believe in the player that I saw last year. I still believe in the player that I was talking about all summer. And I think this is going to pass. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a fortune ball. So if you guys don't want to trade for Brandon Ayuk, you're more risk averse, then don't. But I'm willing to take that risk. My league is a winner take all league. You only get money if you come in first place. So you have to be a little ballsy. You have to take risks when you need to. Last year, I traded Aaron Jones off of a 40-point week and people laughed at me, but he had a bit of a down stretch after that. And then I also got Mixon and AJ Brown for Aaron Jones last year, traded Mixon after his 40-point game. So I'm pretty active on the trade market. If Brandon Ayuk has a big game and I feel like I need to sell him, then I might do something like that. But if you have Brandon Ayuk, do not sell him right now because it's a sunk cost effect, right? If you guys own a business or anything like that, you'll know what a sunk cost is. You spent that high draft pick on Ayuk. If you sell him now when his value is literally basement level, then you're probably not going to get anything that you needed to get. Like if you probably won't even get Rondell Moore, Robbie Anderson like I gave up for him. The reason I gave that up is because I still believe in the guy. You won't be able to get something that good for him. And even those pieces aren't like world beaters by any means. So if you guys have Brandon Ayuk, again, just sit pat. Like I know it sucks that you potentially sunk a 4th, 5th round pick into the guy, but you're probably best to just sit and hold and see how it plays out because it's still early in the season. It's just 2 games. That's an interesting thought. Hit the like and subscribe. You won't regret it. Great insight. And Danny, aka the bandana guy, is hilarious when drafting, and Bush's takes are spot on. Appreciate that. Definitely. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, go ahead and do that. Alex says, do you think TJ Hawkinson gets 16 points? It depends what the scoring format is. If it's PPR, yes, I do, unfortunately, or fortunately, if you need him to get 16 points. No idea what your situation is. I lose if Rodgers gets 90. I think you're okay there. Brian Adams, his brother. Tannehill, Kamara, Amari, Devontae, Kittle, underperforming teams so far, waiting for the next waiver wire video. Yeah, that's really shocking. If you told me that was your team going into the season, it's really hard to believe that Kittle and Amari and I mean, Amari's not really underperforming. He had a down week. Same with Devontae Smith, but Kamara especially I'm a little surprised by, but he hasn't been quite performing to the level that I thought. Go Lions. Yep, for sure. He might. Mooney or Rondell. I don't know if this is like a waiver decision or not, but I would rather have Darnell Mooney personally. Nothing against Rondell. I still like him as well. Should I be concerned about Gibson's workload being taken by Mckissick? No, I don't think you should, because Antonio Gibson was legitimately the RB4 last year without any involvement in the receiving game, right? He wasn't involved at all, didn't get any 3rd down snaps. And right now, what we're seeing is Mckissick is still the 2-minute drill back, which is unfortunate, obviously, but Gibson is still capable of being a top 10, top 5 running back without that. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet. Like that's part of the big allure of Antonio Gibson is that goal line work and the big plays that we haven't really quite seen yet as well. So if you're worried about Gibson, again, I probably wouldn't be. He's getting the workload. He should be just fine. He's just a guy that has, had some bad luck so far in terms of touchdowns. And he kind of got randomly phased out of the game on Thursday night, which is a little weird because Thursday night football, just sometimes weird shit happens. And we kind of, think way too much about it because it was on prime time. But I remind you, 2 weeks ago, Antonio Gibson in week 1 had 25 opportunities. So I'm not really worried about him whatsoever. Hawk is top 5, if not top 4, in my opinion. I mean, he could be top 3, honestly. Like he could be the tight end right behind Darren Waller and Travis Kelce ahead of George Kittle from what we've seen so far. Elijah Moore ran the highest percentage of routes for the Jets. Man, is going to be good as soon as the season goes on. Yeah, randomly, Corey Davis didn't run a whole lot of routes last week, which is really weird. But Elijah Moore, if nothing else, is at least the number 2 receiver on that team in terms of usage and targets, hopefully. I need 30 from Adams today. I mean, normally I would say that's a tall task, but I expect Adams to have a monster game. So I think he definitely could get that. Where would you rank Antonio Gibson rest of season PPR? He'd probably be right on that like RB 8, 9, 10 range. I don't have them like, all the running backs right in front of me, but he'd be right behind a guy like Najee Harris for me probably, just because what I've seen out of Antonio Gibson in his rookie year and so far this year is a big volume workload on the ground. Like I said, he hasn't seen the big plays or the goal line touches quite yet, so hopefully he can get those. Brock says, I got Higgins and Odell for Hawkinson. I feel like it was good value. I mean, it's tough giving up a tight end like that. I'm not really sure, who your other tight end is. But I think you got good value in terms of the two receivers that you got. Odell is another guy that I think is a good, buy low candidate, although I don't usually like buying guys that are coming off of injuries. I think he's not a bad one to buy. Let me just check in with Danny here, see if he's going to hop on this stream anytime soon. All right. On to Maximus here. We got, should I trade Scary Terry and Brandon Cooks for Justin Jefferson? I mean, with the way Brandon Cooks is performing and getting targeted right now, I probably wouldn't do this trade. And I know that's pretty crazy because, I mean, like, I really like Justin Jefferson, but I think that's a little too much to give up. And thoughts on Rondell Moore? Again, I think he's going to be solid. I think he's going to be a fine, waiver pickup this week, as Danny's going to talk about tomorrow. But Rondell Moore is not a guy that I'm jumping, and dropping all my fab budget on, because although he is a young rookie receiver, he's still in a kind of like a crowded receiving core, and he's kind of limited to like a slot only option in an offense that features a running quarterback with DeAndre Hopkins, who's a target hog.
Yeah, I can quickly actually add on that right now. Nice timing about that. But yeah, when you're talking about Rondell Moore, I'll talk about it on tomorrow's show specifically. But the reason why I'm more willing to spend like, 15-20% fab, let's just say hypothetically, is because we saw, though his snap share and his route participation isn't exactly where we want it to be throughout the season. First of all, it's trending up. And second of all, the usage that he gets on the routes he's currently running is very, very encouraging. I mean, we saw a guy who ran, I believe it was 24 routes yesterday and ended up garnering 8 targets on them. Like, this is a guy that they want to get involved in their offense. We know that this is arguably, along with the Cowboys, the highest paced offense in the league. And even on like low route participation or low overall snap share, I still think he could be a consistent 6 to 8 target guy. And given his yak ability, it makes me more willing to want to stash a type of guy like this as my wide receiver 4 on my bench.
It was hard trading him away for Ayuk in that trade. Like it was like I didn't want to get rid of him.
He's looked good, man.
I'm like, he's looked good. And me and Danny were lower on him coming into the draft, but especially what I've been excited to see out of Rondell Moore is he's not just doing what he did at Purdue. He's not just running
down
close
the field
to the line of scrimmage routes and design touches, because when you have a player like that, you have to rely on the coaching staff. And I don't want to have to rely on Cliff Kingsbury to get Rondell Moore the ball. I want Rondell Moore to command the ball by getting open and creating separation, which is what he's doing. So he could make me look really stupid for trading him and Robbie Anderson away for Ayuk. But if Ayuk turns into the guy that I think, or even 80% of the guy that I think Ayuk could have been before the season, I still think that is a pretty good trade because I'm very concerned about Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, no, I kind of said it going into the ranking show, like Robbie Anderson, to me, he doesn't have that role that we were looking for. I mean, we saw last year, he was a legitimate target hog, but we've seen DJ Moore take that next step. He looks like an elite alpha style wide receiver. And with Terrace Marshall coming in, that's just completely dented Robbie Anderson's value for the most part. Not to mention, I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey out there garnering basically 10 targets per game. Like, it's just cheat code.
For sure. Burner says Superflex Dynasty. I have Dak, Tannehill, Carr, Cousins, and Watson. Which one would you trade away?
Well, I'm keeping. You got to keep Watson because, again, if you already have him, you're not going to get as much value as you want for him. And
Cousins is the guy that I'm trading personally.
Yeah, I was going to say Cousins or Carr because they're on a super, super high overall pace right now. I mean, they're playing some of the best ball of their careers. I mean,
and both of those guys I'm concerned about long-term in terms of their job security, with Cousins having Kellen Mond behind him. I mean, who's not like a world beater or anything, just by the fact that they were willing to draft a quarterback, I'm concerned for his job security. And Derek Carr, while he is playing well, and I don't think they're going to like necessarily need to replace him because I think he's a good quarterback, he's not a guy that's as secure as Tannehill, Dak, or even Watson. So I would be looking to trade those guys. Like I said, if you can get anything resembling a first round pick for those guys, or, some young assets at wide receiver, potentially at running back, then I'd be looking to do something like that. You're in a good position. Obviously, Danny's been in this position before in Superflex Dynasty leagues where you got a bunch of quarterbacks. I personally have never been in this position where I've had more than like 3 or 4, maybe. I think in our listener Dynasty league, what did I have? I have Tannehill, Mac Jones, Sam Darnold, and Fitzpatrick, don't I? I think that was like the best of my situation. That's like the most quarterback talent I've ever had in terms of like amount of quarterbacks.
And for me, I was a rebuilder who had Dak, Watson, and Lance. So
which is definitely nice. Who would you take? Najee Harris and Tyler Higbee, Gaskin and Waller.
I'll go Gaskin and Waller.
I would take, give me the running back and Higbee.
I'll go Gaskin and Waller here.
Really? You take Gaskin and Waller over Najee? I mean, Waller is clearly the
biggest piece here.
The biggest piece in this trade, but I think Najee Harris and Gaskin's a big enough gap for me. I know Najee Harris, again, go buy this guy low. Like, he's getting the volume. Like, again, he had a good week this week, which is, fine, but this is a guy that I'm still willing to invest in. I'm still willing to buy into because that volume's absurd. And I think the Steelers offense, once they figure out some of the new scheme changes that they're going through, is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. And that has nothing to do with Najee Harris. I still view him as a quote unquote like back end RB1 type rest of the season. It's just the thing is the advantage that Waller gives you, combined with the fact that if you compare Gaskin and Higbee at their positions, they're probably in that same range. I mean, Higbee's probably a back end tight end 1. Gas is probably a locked and loaded back end RB2. So at that point, I'll take the positional edge that Waller gives me over Harris. But overall, I think it's a pretty fair trade. And okay, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, Spicy Hot.
Yeah, we got Spicy Hot in the background monitoring the chat for us because we get way too into it to actually know what's going on. Cousins after like week 8. Yeah, that's a good point too, right? Because Cousins has like a huge stretch of like good matchups. You definitely could sell Cousins pretty high after like week 5, week 6, when he still has some good matchups ahead of him.
It's so funny, man. Did I not say leading into the week that the surprising high scoring game of the week was going to be that Cardinals versus Vikings game?
Yeah, you got me.
Like...
I thought it was going to be Bengals Bears, and I took it on the chin in DFS for that one because I did stack that game a lot.
It's okay. I had a lot of stacks that went out of the way because the Chargers and Cowboys forgot.
Yeah,
how to play
I also
offense.
got fucked on that one too.
It was weird because like it seemed like the Cowboys dominated time of possession in the first quarter, and then it was literally all Chargers for the second and third. Like the Cowboys, I swear, had 2 total possessions in those 2 quarters. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
It's just a weird game to watch. The officiating was terrible on fucking both sides. I mean, both quarterbacks deserved better. Like, it was. I'm just glad we ended up winning because at the end of the day, here, the way McCarthy handled that 2-minute.
No, you literally shouldn't have won.
Yeah, man.
The way he handled the clock management there. Speaking just quickly on my own team, real quick, if you guys don't already tune into the wide receiver starts and sits every week, you should if you own a Tampa Bay Buccaneers receiver. Because I'm telling you right now, I got the secret sauce when it comes to how to know when to start these guys. It's literally a matchup by matchup game. Like you need to know, and like I'm never sitting them, right? I'm never going to sit Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, or Chris Godwin, but knowing who is the guy that's going to blow up that week is very key by matchup because this offense is good enough to support 2-3 of these pieces a week. And I'm not sure Gronk's going to continue to score 2 touchdowns a week, but you got to know who these guys are playing up against because it's definitely a weekly decision in terms of who you want to play in like DFS and stuff like that. Yeah, are we straight up sitting Ayuk this week?
I am.
Probably, yeah. Like I need to know who the other options are. Like if you're setting him for Zach Pascal, probably not. But if you're setting him for, anybody that's remotely done something so far, I probably would sit him. Yeah. I'm getting close, spicy. Yeah, for sure.
Give me
Carson for Barkley in a PPR. Give me Saquon all day.
Not
I think Carson's a good option as like an RB2. We've already kind of talked about this at nauseum with Chris Carson, but give me Saquon.
It's funny to me that this guy Chris Carson this week had 2 touchdowns and finished with 15 points. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen?
By being an average running back in bad matchups, pretty much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I start Mike Williams over Robert Woods now?
Yes.
Yeah, probably, man. I got to see the heat map on Next Gen Stats. They show the route tree of like the players. I'm pretty sure Mike Williams is running like X receiver.
I already saw it.
For this week, I saw it for last week's, but have you seen it for this week?
I saw it. Basically, they've been using him all across the formation. I think his average depth of target against the Cowboys was under 10, which basically shows that like he's getting used on all 3 levels of the field. And if that's the case, I mean, Mike Williams, we're talking about a former 5th or 6th overall pick, oddly enough, in the same class as Corey Davis. I think this is this year's Corey Davis, man.
Dude, it's so weird. We're having all these like year 5 wide receiver breakouts.
Devontae Parker the year before.
Devontae Parker, Corey Davis. I think Robbie Anderson last year was in his 5th year as well.
Yeah.
It's super weird that that's happening. So, I mean, what draft class is going to be in their 5th year going into next year?
2017, no?
No, this is that because that's this year. 2018 on their 5th year option. Who is first round pick? DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley, 2018 class. So it's probably going to be Michael Gallup or Anthony Miller maybe finally does something.
I imagine. Oh, DJ Chark.
Could be Cortland Sutton too.
Chark was in that draft too.
Yeah. Anyway. Sutton, speaking of Sutton or Judy long-term and could both have top 20 wide receiver upside this year if/when healthy. Yes, I agree to both to the second part of your question. I think both of them can be top 20 wide receivers. Judy long-term though. I think Judy is the better receiver personally. It's really all it comes down to. It's nothing to do with Cortland Sutton. I think the type of receiver he is, he's going to be more scheme specific, more quarterback specific. Jerry Judy, you can plop him into any system, any quarterback, any offense in the NFL. And I think he's going to be a stud who gets open and catches the ball.
Yep, I fully agree there. I would prefer Judy as well, and especially too if you're a rebuilding team, like go field an offer for Judy, and
for sure,
like honest to God, like if I'm a rebuilder and I
got 2 1s, AJ Brown and Jerry Judy for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's mental
for a rebuilding team.
I was gonna say too, like say for instance you're a rebuilding team, but like you haven't been able to offload an Adam Thielen, and right now you could probably ship Adam Thielen and 2 second-round picks to get Jerry Judy. I would do that.
You could probably get at Jerry Judy straight up for Adam Thielen.
If that's the case, then go do that right now.
I know, that might be a bit like I don't think all fantasy managers will do that, but people get really like tunnel visiony in the season. When the season's happening, they really get focused on who's producing for fantasy, and they forget that long-term outlook thing. So you might be able to swing a Judy for Thielen straight up.
Yep. So wait, did we read that? Sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
no, I didn't read that. Thoughts on the 49ers backfield? You and Danny are both doing a great job with the content. Keep it up. Yeah, we're not doing a great job at reading this 49ers backfield, though. At least Danny's doing a good job. I'm not doing a good job of it. But I mean, it's not what Trey Sermon's got a concussion, right? That's what his injury is that he's dealing with. So he's going to be fine. He's not going to, he's not going to be out for 6 weeks or anything like that.
Hasty has a high ankle sprain.
Right. So that's not good news for Hasty, obviously. But I think Mitchell's going to be a prime start this week, assuming Trey Sermon's going to be out, which, concussion protocol, you never really know what the situation's going to be. But if Mitchell's the only guy there this week, with them bringing in like Duke Johnsons and Lamar Millers or whatever, Elijah Mitchell's going to be like a top 15, top 20 running back this week. And then once Trey Sermon comes back, keep an eye on your waiver wire because somebody in my league dropped him, and I'm dropping all my fab
Mitchell?
on him. No, Sermon.
Oh, damn.
I'm literally going to drop all my fab on him. Like not all of it, but like I'm going to drop like 40% of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, no, when I'm talking about Mitchell too, like we saw even like when he was healthy in that game, like he got legitimately, I think it was like 75%, 70% of the total backfield opportunities. Like this coaching staff has trusted him. And again, if Hasty's hurt, we could see Sermon be that spell guy that assumes that Jeff Wilson.
Hasty was the 2-minute drill guy too, right? So if Sermon can catch the ball, which I think, coming out of school, I think him and Mitchell were kind of like both average at it. Neither of them were like great receivers, but I don't think they're going to use Mitchell in like a full bell cow role. So they're going to have to give Sermon something. And I think it's going to be the receiving work when he comes back.
Yep, that's fair. I do need to start as my last flex once he went down. Plus, Ayuk struggles have made me really weak at flex too. Yeah, I mean, good for you. There's a good amount of waiver wire options this week. I mean, you got your Rondell Moore, you got your KJ Osborne, who I'll talk about, but recently we've seen the Vikings legitimately be an 11 personnel team. And I saw the stat again. You guys will see that in the video, but he's played legitimately like 75, 80% of the offensive snaps this year. Like this isn't just a guy who's flashed in a pan and has done it unlimited usage. No, like he's out there a lot. He gets targeted a lot and he's played well with the targets he's gotten. So I think KJ Osborne's here to stay, man. I think he could be a legitimate wide receiver 3-4 type for the rest of the year. I mean, we're talking about a guy that kind of makes his way in that wide receiver 40 type range. I can see him being that guy and having obvious flash potential in these potential shootout matchups against like teams like the Cardinals, teams like the Cowboys. I genuinely see Osborne can be a legitimate flex contributor.
For sure. Yeah. Luis says PPR trade Josh Allen, Gronk, Jacoby Myers for Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown. I have Mark Andrews and I'm in an 8-man league. So in 8-man leagues, I always favor the upside of the trade. Give me the Kyler. Murray and Hollywood side. Yeah. You already had Mark Andrews, so it's not like you were gonna, do anything with Gronkowski anyway. So I don't know what the hell is going on with Hollywood Brown, but like this guy actually looks incredible.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that too, and it makes me even happier for the fact that when Bateman comes back, we're assuming that he's going to take that alpha role. But yeah, Marquise Brown's look good, and it kind of makes me look like a dumb play considering I traded Coop, Marquise Brown, and someone else, I forget, someone smaller, in exchange for Eckler, Galladay, and Chenault too. Chenault is the opposite of looking good right now because he finished with -3 receiving yards on 7 targets. How do you do that? But anyways,
speaking of one little underrated storyline of this week, how about the face planners coming out? Michael Pittman and Henry Ruggs doing some work, 100-yard games for both of those guys.
And Matt Harmon was very, very impressed with what Pittman did, especially against that secondary. So
yeah, who knows, man? I knew I was going to see it on Twitter all day today. Make sure you sell Henry Ruggs. It's like, whatever, man. Like, just let me enjoy this for a day.
Also, I want to quickly mention, like, don't get me wrong. We know like in this question in particular, like Josh Allen's a fantastic quarterback in real life and fantasy, although he struggled these first couple of weeks. Kyler Murray's quarterback 1 rest of the season, man. Like rest of the season, what he does on the ground, what he does through the air, the volume, the pace of this offense.
Lamar's doing the same thing pretty much.
I mean, but
maybe not through the air, but like on the ground, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And I agree, Lamar's going to be fantastic as well. It's just the thing is, like, Kyler's basically Ben Lamar with more passing volume.
Yeah,
like again, Lamar is always going to have the edge on anybody in the rushing game, but Kyler's as close as you can get from a rushing standpoint. I mean, Kyler's legitimately going to be a 60 yard per game type of rusher, and he's basically been averaging a touchdown per game in every single game he's been healthy.
This is what he did last year too. Remember, we talked about his rushing touchdowns were insane.
Yeah, like, and I mentioned, I'm like, I don't want to say regression, but like, is this really sustainable? He's proven it's sustainable.
I said it when we were talking quarterback rankings. I said a Lamar or a Kyler Murray scramble play is the most unstoppable play in the NFL. Like it's like Tyreek Hill running a drag route. Like, how do you stop Tyreek Hill running a drag route? How do you stop Kyler Murray outside of the pocket scrambling? Like, you can't.
And like, looking back on it, I should have known, dude. Like Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson probably rest of the season quarterback 1 and 2, especially in 4-point passing touchdown leagues.
6 point, I think there's
in a 6 point, like you could make the arguments that the Mahomes, the Daks, the Brady's, but in a 4-point passing touchdown league, like
Brady's
these
got
guys
9
are
passing
unstoppable.
touchdowns.
I know it's stupid. It's stupid. And if people, by the way, I just want to mention, if people are worried about Dak, don't be. Like, he legitimately did not touch the ball.
Somebody asked about Dak Prescott. Don't be worried about Dak Prescott.
He did not touch.
Same with Alvin Kamara too. Like, I wasn't going to talk about Alvin Kamara tomorrow on the trade targets video, but I might have to, given the amount of people that have asked me about Alvin Kamara.
Yep. Yeah. In one league, I have Ayuk, Cam, JG, Rashad Bateman, Julio. So my flex is non-existent. Don't worry, your flex is going to be full once Rashad Bateman comes back.
Yeah, hopefully your flex is full. So the funny thing about the trade that I made, the Ayuk trade, this guy legitimately picked 1 pick ahead of me in the draft and picked Ayuk because he knew I loved him, because he watches the channel. So hopefully karma catches up with him, and now that he's traded me Ayuk goes back to his role.
I'm down with that.
Because he actually traded me Ayuk last year.
I have Ayuk in our listener league, so I'm down with that. Also, can we quickly mention in the listener league this week, I had 5 players combined for less than 25 points. Like I had Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, Antonio Gibson, DJ Chark, and Brandon Ayuk combined for 24.7 points.
That's horrid.
Yeah.
AJ Brown has been really disappointing these past 2 weeks. He will be on the trade targets video tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about him. Thinking about starting Devontae Smith or T. Higgins over him, but with my luck, that's when he'll put up big numbers. Worth benching him? No. I am still starting AJ Brown.
And I'll tell you right now, you're not starting Devonta Smith over him. And as much as I love Devonta Smith, listen, the Cowboy shadow now. The Cowboy shadow. Trayvon Diggs is going to be on that guy all game.
Oh, Danny thinks they have an elite corner.
Have you seen him?
Like, I'll give him that.
Dude,
he's been playing super well.
Like, apart from
was he on Keenan? Was he shadowing Keenan?
For the most part, and again, like Keenan obviously had that big play when Herbert absolutely torched a fucking cover too. Did you see that throw, by the way? He literally found the pocket between Trayvon Diggs and fucking, I think it was J-Ron Curse in the back end. He just like whistled it in. Yeah. And like, if that had any less zip, Trayvon Diggs is getting a hand on it. Trayvon Diggs is picking it off. But man, Justin Herbert, the stats weren't there in these first couple of weeks, but like Justin Herbert has legitimately played like a top 7 quarterback again this year. Like he's looked phenomenal.
Ernie, where's Bert? Says don't mess with Debo in the backfield. He eaten PPR. Man, Debo's making me look stupid, man. I don't like it. Like, and it's not that Debo, like I thought Debo was a bad player. I just didn't think he would be very valuable for fantasy. And they're kind of using him because of Ayuk's like limited role. They're using him the way that they thought they were going to use Ayuk.
Yeah, no, I agree there. It's a little unfortunate. Also, I quickly wanted to mention he's not going to be on the main 5 of the waiver video tomorrow because he's owned in more than 50% of leagues. I'm going to mention him the best of the rest, but like Tony Pollard's a legitimate RB3 rest of the season. If this is the type of split we're going to be seeing, like genuinely,
dude. He's outscoring Zeke Elliott right now.
Well, I mean, he's a top 10 running back.
Yeah, it's wild, man. That's
like,
wild.
And Zeke was the RB6 or RB7 on the week this week, and people are like, "Oh, well, he's garbage." Like, I think both of them are going to eat, man. Like, I think this is Ingram Kamara.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. Tony Pollard to me is going to strike me as like a guy that has 5 big weeks a year, kind of thing. Like that's just the way I view Tony Pollard, and that's why he's a fantastic best ball pick. But I don't view him being like an every week starter or anything like that. But I think he could be a guy you could throw into your flex.
For example, in our listener league, I went a hero RB like. That type of RB2, especially with big play bonuses and full PPR, I think like he can.
He's one of those guys, like we say, standalone value handcuffs all the time. Tony Pollard is one of the guys that actually is a standalone value handcuff.
Yeah, no, I fully agree there.
That was wicked, gross. Man.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Skip Bayless in the chat, nice, good looks, bro. Ayuk will blow up. We'll blow up this. Oh, I think that's AJ. We'll blow up this week. The week you sit him, mark it down. Yeah, please don't sit AJ Brown. I like if he doesn't do it again this week, then I might be a little upset there. But I didn't listen to you with DJ Moore over.
Why not?
I told you. I know this Bucks receiving core. If you're gonna trust me on anything, it's this Bucks receiving core. But DJ Moore over AB. Now I need Adams to put up 15. I think you should be okay. To be honest, Adams should be all right.
I'm just seeing BMac a little later in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, AJ Brown had 9 targets, but only 3 catches. I mean, dude, Chase Claypool, can we talk about that for a second? This guy legitimately was an inch away from having a 40-point game. Like, I swear to God, every time he was missed, he was like, it was just like great coverage or something like that. I think Chase Claypool, again, another guy that's going to make an appearance tomorrow.
Yep. I love that.
Blackjack.
I said it on Twitter, but Corey, if Elijah Moore isn't on that list, I quit.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk about everybody. I'm gonna try and refine the list, see who I want to talk about for sure. Chase Claypool absolutely will be on the list though, because like with the Deontay injury, like that's the only sketchy thing about Chase Claypool is because Deontay's hurt now. Maybe people aren't willing to trade him. It's almost worse that he got like hurt. Not for me because I have Chase Claypool already, but if you don't own Chase Claypool, it's gonna be probably kind of hard to get him now that Deontay is banged up. Should I trade Ayuk for Elijah Moore? That offer's on the table for me. As much as I love Elijah Moore, I can't sell Ayuk for that much. Like I said, this is a sunk cost thing. If you have Ayuk, you kind of have to ride it out. That's the way. Like you don't have to start him or anything like that, but I don't think you should trade him if you have Ayuk.
Yeah, and realistically here, like the value for him is not even going to be remotely close to you get. You're probably going to get like round 8, round 9, round 10 type of value. And at that point, like give me the upside of Ayuk. Because at the end of the day here, a lot of your round 9, round 10 picks week 5 are probably not even going to be on your roster anyway. So ride out the potential of a guy like Ayuk.
One thing I just want to, you go through the questions right now. I just want to look up weeks 1 to 2 last year. I just want to look up who the top 10s at each position were just to see what the names were like.
I got a question for you real quick. Would you trade CH for Ayuk?
I would rather have Ayuk than CH.
It's close, but they're probably the same tier right now. I mean, if you listen to us, you don't have many CEH shares, so that's good. But that's I'd probably.
I'm just thankful to be in that position, to be honest.
God,
So just out of curiosity, I wanted to look up who the top 10 running backs and wide receivers were at this time last year after week 2 of the season.
Todd Gurley RB5.
Julian Edelman was a top 7 wide receiver last year in weeks 1 and 2
because he had that blow up game against
John Brown was wide receiver
Seattle.
10.
Edelman had that blow up game against Seattle. No.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like, this is what I mean when I say I'm not like 100% concerned about people, and I'm also not 100% taking victory laps on people. Like, as much as I think CEH isn't going to be very good this year, like, I mean, it's week 2. Like, he could definitely turn it around if you do have CEH, but I'm a little concerned with what I've seen from some players, and Ayuk is the one that's really making me look stupid. So,
yep. I don't even know what you're referring to.
Spicy. That's the opposite of the sunk cost fallacy. Okay, sorry. He is correct. What I mean is that it is a sunk cost. You might as well, because it's redraft, right? It's not Dynasty or anything like that. I'm personally just not willing to sell Ayuk. And that's my own personal view of Ayuk before the season. If you didn't really believe in Ayuk coming into the year, and now you've seen this, and you want to get out while the iron's still somewhat hot, if you want to get a Robbie Anderson or get a, Marvin Jones or something, like, I don't know, whatever you guys want to sell Brandon Ayuk for, go ahead. But I am not selling Brandon Ayuk if I drafted him. In our Tone Setters League, I did draft him. Nobody's offered me anything for him yet, but if they did, I probably wouldn't sell the guy because I still believe in the guy that I saw last year.
What if I offer you right now? No kidding.
No, to me, it's just hard. What's up with Henderson? He has looked awesome in that Rams offense. Do you have any updates on what Henderson? I saw a couple weeks he might be out for, is what I saw.
I heard he's like McVay said he's going to recover during the week and he's going to be fine for Sunday.
Really? Okay, so that's interesting. So is Sony Michel like still the like number 1 pickup then?
I mean, I was going to include him, but then I actually looked into the snap percentage and Jake Funk was getting third down usage. So
True.
like, yeah, you trade
Wasn't Sony Michel like billed to be an Alvin Kamara like receiver coming out of Georgia? Do you not remember this?
Yeah, like to be fair, he looked decent in that game, but if you have the choice between Sony Michel and Zach Moss, I'll take Zach Moss still.
Really? I would still take Sony Michel.
I mean, like,
I don't trust Henderson to stay healthy, period, to be honest. So
that's fair.
Rondell looking like who I hoped. Yeah. I mean, again, another guy that's making me look kind of stupid, but I did kind of come around to Rondell more to some degree once he was drafted to the Cardinals. I think short guys stick together. So that's why
at least it's not Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, literally. Jesus.
That guy sucks.
Kadarius Toney's having like a John Ross rookie year.
Oddly enough, who's on the Giants.
Yeah.
What can I get for CEH in a trade, or should I just drop? Don't drop him.
Don't drop Clyde Edwards-Helaire, please.
If you have a believer in your league, like
if you can get what? Let me go to running backs real quick. What running back do you sell for Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Carson.
Right? I don't think anybody's going to give you Carson for Edwards-Helaire.
Let me check my rankings. Like
I'm looking right now at the underperformers.
Gaskin.
If you can get
Javonte
Miles Sanders, if you could package CEH plus to get Jonathan Taylor, maybe. I don't think anybody's going to do that. You can package CEH to get CEH plus to get Gibson. If you could somehow get Gaskin, if you could somehow get, would you rather have? This is like a really awkward question.
I was about to ask one too.
Would you rather have James White or CEH? This is the same question you're gonna ask.
I was about to ask you
that. I would rather have CEH than James White.
Yeah, but like that's the type of range I'm thinking of CEH.
Like I said, I hope you guys watched the trade targets video last week because I told you to get rid of Clyde and I told you to get rid of James Robinson, and both guys are looking like big yikes right now.
I also want to say a little shout out. You know Marco?
Yeah.
He's watching the other room, but before the season started, CH is one of those keepers. He traded him straight up for Metcalf.
Oh, Jesus. This is an interesting question. Do you sell high on Sterling Shepard?
Yeah. You could probably get like top 30 wide receiver value.
Would you sell Sterling Shepard today for Brandon Ayuk?
Yes.
I would too. I'm just curious. Like, Sterling Shepard has looked good. I will give him that. He doesn't look like a bum out there. He doesn't look like a juju or anything like that. So I'll say Sterling Shepard, you could sell high on him. Yeah, like, I definitely think that's a smart move. The question is, what is selling high on Sterling Shepard? Does that mean like you're getting, a wide receiver 3 type? Like, if you could get T Higgins or like Chase Claypool for Sterling Shepard, like, absolutely sell high on Sterling Shepard.
Rest of the season, who would you rather have, Sterling Shepard or Robert Woods?
I'd rather have Robert Woods still.
Same, but it's close.
But yeah, Robert Woods. If you could sell Sterling Shepard for Robert Woods right now, that is something I would do, 100%.
Yeah.
Sorry. How many points we thinking? Jesus. How many points we thinking for Jamal Williams tonight? Half PPR. I think Jamal Williams is going to be like a 10-point guy tonight. Maybe like 6 targets, 5 receptions, 22 yards, and then like 7 carries for 32 yards or something like that. Probably doesn't get into the end zone. That's my median projection for Jamal Williams. Probably also, because I have Swift in 2 leagues and I need him to do really well in one of them. Probably going to have 2 touchdowns in this one for Jamal Williams.
And for us personally, in the listener league, I need Swift to score 12 or more points because I'm trying to lose. I'm trying to tank. And I'm currently up by 10 with him having Swift. And if Swift ends up getting 10 or less, I'll be 2-0 in a league I'm trying to tank. Where I have
do you want to hear something hilarious? The league I traded away McCaffrey in, I'm the highest scoring team in the league.
The fuck, dude? The fucking listener league. I'm gonna be fucking
because I have Brady, Gronk, and Godwin, and they're just snapping every week. Dude.
I have Tim Patrick in my super flex, and I could be 2-0.
Oh, geez.
I had Rondell Moore on my bench.
80 points from Swift, Devontae, and TJ. 80 points is a lot, but it's possible. It's possible.
The problem is, though, I also need 27 from Tunyon, so it's... Yeah, I'll get this, Bush. So going into Sunday Night Football, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm chilling. I think I was, like, down by, like, 6, but I had Robert Tunyon and Tyreek Hill against Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown outscores Tyreek Hill by 18.
Dude, that's so fucked. I played a showdown lineup, and I shit you not, I would have won so much money if I just faded Tyreek Hill. I hit on like Byron Pringle and like all these like deep guys. DeMarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle were in my lineup, and I had Mahomes, Kelsey, and Lamar.
Oh my god!
And also, Tyreek was my other player. I spent up for him, and I should have just bought like Andrews or something. I don't know.
Also, the other thing I need in my home league, 6 points from the Packers defense. It would have been 5, but Lamar takes the fucking kneel at the end of the game, loses me a point, so I'm down 100 to 100.16 to 105.20. So like if he doesn't do that, I would have only needed 5 because I would have won 105.26 to 105.20.
That's wild.
So like that one play makes my Packers defense need a whole point because they don't score fractional.
I have a hypothetical to propose to you right now. I just thought of this. If Swift has like a 20-point game, right? Like he has like 9 targets, like 12 carries, 100 total yards and a touchdown. Do you sell him right now for Alvin Kamara?
I'll take Kamara
right after this game. I'm just curious because I have Swift in my home league.
Yeah.
The Alvin Kamara owner, I know he's panicking because he texted me earlier today and asked me like, is Kamara going to be okay? Kamara going to be okay? So if DeAndre Swift snaps this week, I am going to be shopping DeAndre Swift for Alvin Kamara.
I'd take Kamara. However, any running back,
I don't want to trade Swift at the same time.
But that's what I mean. Like, can we make a succinct argument right now outside of Kamara, CMC, and Dalvin Cook? Maybe Derrick Henry, given that we've seen pass game utilization thus far.
So wild.
Like, is Loki DeAndre Swift like RB5 rest of the season? Like, if he snaps,
imagine betting on a talented player to
Couldn't be me, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
imagine. Yeah.
Well, like, what other running backs are we thinking there? Like Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, Zeke, Najee. Like, I'm taking Swiss.
He's definitely like, has an argument to be right, ahead of those guys or in that same tier.
Which is wild because, I mean, this guy was going in the mid 4th round sometimes in best ball drafts. That's why he's my highest owned running back.
Yep. Still my highest owned running back as well.
Dude, it's so funny. My highest owned running backs are like Swift, Hines, James White, Tony Pollard. Like, I'm fucking hitting on all my running backs.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm hitting on all my tight ends too because I have so much Gronk, so much Jared Cook, so much Fant. Like, I have so much of those guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fant, the Courtland Sutton comeback, yes, sir. You love to see that. Courtland Sutton is going to be, dominant these next couple of weeks with Judy out. And I think Fant's going to have a big week. Like, he had a pretty good game in this one, but I think he's going to have a big week soon too.
Yeah. He had 35 and a touchdown this week, I believe.
Yeah.
Do not drop.
Do not drop Brandon Ayuk, please. Listen to Spicy out here. He goes, don't drop Brandon Ayuk. I think you were right with CEH, Bush. I mean, I'm again, with busts, I find, do you find this too? You're better at predicting busts than you are at predicting breakouts in fantasy?
Let's check the busts I have written in my sheet right now. Like, even though the video never came out.
Yeah, but, my busts were what Russ is making me look stupid right now. So, I mean, I'll take that one on the chin. But to be fair, I wasn't really that confident in that Russ take. Like, I was like, Russ kind of like from a, where you have to draft him perspective, but like he could make me look stupid. And
like one. The busts I have written right now, legitimately, like, they've been okay, I guess, for fantasy.
Mixon's been good. He's making you look stupid.
I mean,
but Mixon, the concern with Mixon is like the whole year. It's always been that way for me too.
But like, has he really even made me like he had the one good week 1, but he was basically unusable this week.
Yeah, I mean, he had 22 opportunities or something this week, I think.
I expected that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so did I. I think mine were Gaskin, Henderson, Russ, Allen Robinson, and CEH. And Allen Robinson's having a little bit of a down stretch as well. So
yeah, I want to mention like Juju, like he's basically just doing Juju things. Like, who the fuck cares? Goddard, like, cool.
Not ideal.
Matt Ryan, he's looked awful.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's been bad.
But yeah, like, talk about my breakouts too. Like, right now, it's not looking too pretty. But again, we're 2 weeks in. It's just because Gibson and Ayuk have basically disappointed like mother.
Yeah.
Truckers.
Well, mine were what? Swift, Claypool, Elijah Moore,
Judy, Smith, Lance.
Or no, Elijah Moore was a sleeper for me.
Yeah.
Judy, Claypool, Swift. Who was my other ones? Lance was one of them, I think, too.
Dude, low-key, my sleepers are looking really solid. Like, the non-quarterbacks, Marvin Jones, Terrace Marshall, Jacoby Myers, and Jared Cook.
Not bad. Who are mine? Do you have mine listed there?
Moore, Wilson, Fuller, Kmet, Collins. Kmet.
Yeah, Komet's doing okay. Collins got hurt in that game. Anyway, let's speed through some questions here.
Yeah, sorry.
If you were, we're just going on tangents. If you were to trade Dalvin Cook for someone like Kittle plus Chubb, would it be worth it? If you get Kittle and Chubb for Dalvin Cook, I think I'd probably do that. But like, I don't want to trade Dalvin Cook, though, at the same time. Like, I want to hold on to Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, like, I would still do this easily, though. Yeah,
don't drop Clyde, don't drop Ayuk. Yes, as much as we're down on those players right now relative to where we, drafted them, you're not dropping them, obviously. Got Sutton for Gallup last week. Yeah, that's a phenomenal trade that you just made. Yep. I've always been curious. What are your thoughts on having 2 players from the same team?
If they're good
it depends on the team. Like, if I have Evans and Godwin, I don't care. If I have
Dak and
Chark and Chenault, then I care.
Yeah, like, and I agree with that. Like, it's so funny how many fucking like Tampa stacks, Cowboy stacks randomly in redraft leagues that I have right now. But I'm fine with it, like, because they perform.
If you have 2 players that are on a good offense, I don't care. If it's a bad offense, then I care. That's pretty much my answer.
Like, in my one PPR league, I have Austin Eckler and Mike Williams, and in a game where the offense put up 17 points, both of them scored over 20.
Yeah.
Like,
how many targets did Eckler get this week?
He had 9 catches, 9 targets.
I knew he was going to get a lot of targets. Everyone was like, he had 0 targets last week. Like, bro, whatever, man. Like, I don't care.
He had a nasty one-handed snag too.
Yeah. Why Rojo getting no work? I mean, this is Rojo things, man. Like, this is what's going to happen with Rojo. He's going to get 14 carries a game, and unless he breaks a long one or scores a goal line touch, like, he's probably not going to be very good.
I got Henry, Hurts, Metcalf, or Murray, Jefferson, Taylor. Who won?
I think I take Henry, Hurts, and Metcalf there. I think Jefferson Metcalf is a wash. I'd rather have Henry than Taylor, and you get Jalen Hurts on top of that.
Yeah, we got Murray. He gave up Murray.
What? Oh, Kyler? Oh, I
Yeah.
thought that was Latavius. Oh, shit.
No,
I thought that
like
was Latavius.
I'll
Okay.
take
Yeah,
Kyler's
give me
side.
give me the Kyler side then. Yeah, give me the Kyler side. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
that was Latavius. I don't know why.
Like I can, if you're like, again, I'm higher on Henry now. Obviously, like I think he's firmly entrenched as the RB4 because of the passing game utilization. But
The
I
difference
think
between Murray and Hurts is pretty big.
the difference, yeah,
As
but
much
the
as
difference,
Hurts has been playing well, I think the difference between Murray and Hurts is pretty big.
yeah, he's got oven mitts for hands. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I do. The usage has still been really good for Pitts. Well, I'd like to see him look a little bit better. Like he looks good. Like he doesn't look bad or anything, but I'd like to see him like be Kyle Pitts a little bit more, like than I've seen so far.
You want him to see you want him to perform like Darren Waller against the Ravens. You want to see that?
Yeah.
Which
all right, the game is actually starting right now, which I just noticed.
Let's quickly get through these last.
Yeah,
ones,
we are like nowhere close to catching up on these.
Yeah, I agree there. Thoughts on James Robinson, David Montgomery? I'm fine with buying low on David Montgomery. He's still getting ridiculous utilization. I think he had 24 opportunities. And what was a potential? Like the Bengals have been good against the run for the most part. Like even Dalvin Cook wasn't that efficient in his game. So I just think that the Bengals run D's has really picked it up. But those of you that are selling David Montgomery, I mean, this is still a legitimate workhorse type of back.
Again, another guy that I might have to put in the trade targets video because I'm not selling David Montgomery. I think exactly
23 touches.
Yeah, I'm not worried about David Montgomery one bit, especially if Fields is going to start, or at least it looks like he's potentially going to start. Like I'm going to go with.
If you're selling David Montgomery, you better be selling Joe Mixon.
Yeah, they're the exact same player essentially. I mean, Mixon has a little bit more passing game usage than what David Montgomery is seeing, but I think Montgomery's a better running back than Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I think Montgomery still had 3 catches in the game too. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on Sutton, DJ Moore, Mike Williams? I think
those guys are. I can't believe I'm saying this. They're probably all kind of in the same tier.
They're wide receiver 2-3s.
Yeah, I think Sutton is the guy I would take out of those 3.
More
right now, at least for the fact that he's, he could be a big time sell high, but I think for the amount of time that Judy's going to be out, I really like what Sutton can provide you.
I'll take more.
Cephas touchdown. What is going on here? Spicy hot. How is Cephas getting a touchdown already?
Wait, what?
He just sent it the private chat. I got to turn the game. I don't even have it on behind me. Hold on.
Yeah, fuck. I got to go to my friend's house for it too. Okay, let me just rip
through some questions here. I need to turn the dude. I think I have Cephas in a tournament lineup, and I have him stacked with Goff right now. So this is looking pretty good so far.
Yep, no, I agree. DJ Moore rest of the season. His depth of target is 9, but he seems like he's getting targeted a lot. Honest to God, people might think this is counterintuitive because we always talk about, we want high A dot, we want high A dot. I think the sweet spot, like target hogs, is like an A dot of 8 to like 11. Because you don't want too high of an A dot because you're only a downfield specialist, and you want too low of a A dot because you're just a short yardage type of guy like Laviska Shenault. So I think a 9 to like 10 type of A dot is what we see from these prototypical alpha wide receivers. Again, this might be something I have to like actually look into.
I think 12. I think like 11 to 13 is more so what I'm looking for, because then you get like I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, like Stephon Diggs, like Devontae Adams would be like 11 to 13.
Diggs is lower.
You think Diggs is lower than that?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. Okay,
especially
maybe I'm wrong about that, because actually that's more like Mike Evans' range that I'm talking 11 to 13 probably.
Yeah, well, like Diggs has had 21 targets in these first 2 games. I think he has, I want to say like 150 total receiving yards.
Oh, this is an easy answer for the next question, D-Bell. This is easily Teddy Bridgewater. Large horn premium. That guy's got a wrench.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Speaking of wrenches, Spicy Hot's got it covered there. If you guys need a lawnmower 4.0, you know where to check us out. Promo code Bush at manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping. Tony Jones.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody dropped Javonte Williams in your league. Yeah, absolutely.
Which one would you trade if you wanted to get Joe Mixon compact with Tyson Williams? If you could send like A-Rob and Tyson Williams, or Robert Woods and Tyson Williams for Mixon, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I would not sell Mike Evans plus for
not Evans. That's why I said
if you could sell I would sell A-Rob and Tyson for Joe Mixon for sure.
But you told me to drop Sermon for Pollard, you minx. Hey?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
No, I know.
I'd rather have Pollard than Sermon.
No, I agree.
I still don't think it's because I said Sermon. I'm dropping like 40%.
That's why.
Yeah,
I
would still rather have Pollard than Sermon.
Yeah,
if anybody dropped Pollard, I'd drop that amount of fab too.
Agreed. Danny, you were perfect on all my start sit questions. Yes, sir, bro. Like, hopefully you got the dunk.
Let us know how we do on your start sit questions, because we get so many of them that like we honestly don't even remember what we're saying half the time. Yeah. So let us know how we did on your start sit questions that you have. So Cephas actually did get a touchdown. That is interesting.
I have Packers defense. I need 6 points from them. That's it. Was it a good touchdown? A 5-yard touchdown. Well, why is Goff popping off? Oh, Cephas has 51 yards already. What the heck?
Cephas is in both of my lineups.
What the heck? Who would you keep Tannehill or here or hold? The only one that's like decently appealing would be Cousins, but I'm probably still taking Tannehill.
Yeah, I would as well.
18 points from Aaron Jones tonight, full PPR. Yeah, you should be able to get it there, Albert. Yo, what's up, boy? What's up, Javon? I seen it.
Face
plant.
Facts.
Jones or Swift? I think I'm going Swift, man.
In this game, I'd take Jones in this game. If we're talking
in this game, yeah. What about rest of the season?
I mean, game's already started, so I guess we're a little late on that one. But
what about rest of the season?
Oh, dude, don't make me choose. I'd probably take Swift, but I don't know. I'd probably take Jones just for the safety aspect of it, I would suppose. But like, they're both like fucking so good and close.
Thoughts on Fuller with the Dolphins? Or do you think Brandon Cooks will be good without Tyrod? Yeah, I think Cooks has basically shown that like he's basically quarterback proof. Like I get it, Tyrod Taylor was doing fine, but like Cooks is the clear alpha of that wide receiver room.
Got 14 targets yesterday.
And with Will Fuller, yeah, I think he's going to be a wide receiver too in no time. Hey, from a close fan, the problem with Pittman isn't the talent, it's the scheme, and loves to spread the ball around and rarely gets one guy. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like we saw Pittman separating yesterday, which is always nice to see, especially against that Rams secondary. So Tyson for Hunt, PPR. Who do you want here, Bush?
Give me Hunt.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you're big chilling, Javon. There you go. Nice.
Love to see it.
Kittle and Fant. I mean, like,
if you could sell, depends on the wide receiver, but if you could sell Kittle for a pretty borderline elite wide receiver, if you could sell Kittle right now for AJ Brown, would you do it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think if you could sell Kittle for AJ Brown or Justin Jefferson or like someone like that, like in that range, I would probably sell Kittle. But it depends what you can get for Fant, right? Like if you can get someone to give you something good for Fant, then I would rather sell him and keep Kittle. But I think you're going to get better value selling Kittle than you will selling Fant. But Kittle, people are a little down on Kittle, but they're going to hear like him as like a buy low candidate, so they might like be going to try and get him.
Spicy, how you know what to do? See the bottom of the chat?
Yeah. Spicy knows what to do for sure.
Yeah.
Love to see that. Okay, we got to rip through these. Diggs, cornerback 1.
Yep.
Yeah, could be.
Devontae
Smith there. Pack for a 1.
Sure.
Yeah,
amen. Yeah, no, he's looked good.
I mean, he has looked good. And I mean, we've kind of talked about why it was low, like the face planners theory. Devontae Adams is absolutely cooking the secondary. Holy crap. Ruggs, one of you guys had an article on it.
It was definitely you. I don't write articles.
What did I write about Ruggs?
I don't know, but it definitely wasn't me.
Oh, I think I wrote it for the scouts, right? Yeah, I talked about
sending good vibes to Swift. Amen, Rendon. Amen. You see, hopefully for your sake, if that's what you need, man. I don't see it, but hopefully. Bush is Kilgi got it. 230. Yeah, that's wild, Zach. Good stuff. Listen to Connor. Drop a like, lads. We're currently on the road for 10,000 subscribers. I think we're at about 6,500 right now. So I'm a little ambitious saying 10K, but I believe in our content and I believe in you guys getting us there.
Yeah. Oh, Roger's out of the pocket right now. Sling it. Oh, you bitch.
60 points.
Oh, I just want to specify this real quick. Kilgi says Bush is the Ruggs truther. For those of you guys that don't know, Ruggs was my wide receiver 1 in the 2020 class. So like I have like I literally thought this guy was better than CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Jerry Jeudy. Now you can knock my process all you want for that. I was watching the next Terry McLaurin when I watched Ruggs at Alabama. That's the player that I saw. Obviously, the usage hasn't been the same as what Terry McLaurin sees, so hopefully he can turn things around. I really like what I saw from him yesterday. Anyway, we got to rip through these. Hunter says need 60 points and have Rodgers Adams stack 6 point per passing touchdown. So you might have a shot there. I'm not sure if you're going to get there, but it's definitely possible. Please do not drop Saquon Barkley.
No.
Deontay Johnson injury is not serious based on report. Okay, yeah. So maybe you could still get Chase Claypool for a decent amount of, change. Great content, boys. See you Thursday, of course. I love Rondell, but when he landed with the cards, I was skeptical. I've just been kind of skeptical about Rondell in general, let alone like I think he's really good at what he does. I just don't know how valuable it is for fantasy and how consistent he's going to be, especially with a guy like Hawkins there and a mobile quarterback like Murray. I I'm tanking in Dynasty and I have Ayuk, so he's driving the tank right now. You love to see that. Deontay Johnson is okay, and he was caught walking just fine, signing stuff, said I'm just fine. Okay, yeah, that's good news for Deontay Johnson for sure. I'm trying to lose in league and I'm undefeated. Started Tyrod this 2 weeks, won by 1 point with the last first down pass to Hawkins, who I started. That's fucking unfortunate. Yes, you were thinking Nick Chubb. I don't remember what that was in reference to.
Super high on Eckler because we were talking about top 5 running backs. Yeah, I mean, like Eckler.
Yeah, he is getting goal line snaps. That is an underrated like storyline of Austin Eckler right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, let's hope so. Potential RB5. Yeah, I could see that. Josh is. Yeah, I mean, I could see it for you, Josh. That's actually in my home league. So, basically, theoretically, here you're thinking Adams and Swift probably combined for what 35, 40 easily there. Yeah, and then Hawkinson. I mean, it'll be close for you. That's all I'll say, Josh. And no offense to you, I'm kind of hoping you lose because you got quite a juggernaut.
Yeah, and Spicy Hot is correct. It is because I spent a first-round pick on him, and
so did I in the league.
Because I spent a first-round pick on CEH last year, I watched every snap of his so intently, and I knew that this guy was never going to be a top 5 running back when I was watching what I saw last year. So that's why I was against Swift. I feel like, or against CEH, not Swift. I'm very in favor of Swift, but I feel like everybody has like those guys that like, because you own them last year, you know to stay away from them the next year. And it's not like a recency bias thing. You like actually just know like people are overhyping this guy. They clearly didn't own him last year.
Yeah, no, I agree there.
Do y'all think Hitler escaped to Argentina in a German U-boat?
What's his name? What's his name?
Shrunken Anus. Jesus. Is that like a conspiracy theory? I've never heard that before. Drop LaVisca. No,
I'll take Rondell over LaVisca right now.
Yeah, I would take Rondell over LaVisca.
Pretty easily.
Think about it. Don't do
it for Cordell Patterson.
Don't take Dave Kluge. I'd drop LaVisca Chenault. Because he said there's no difference between dropping LaVisca and dropping AJ Brown.
Dude, there was also, do you see fucking JJ Zacharias and replied to? He's like, dude, what are you even saying?
Yeah, I know. He's like, what are you even trying to prove with this tweet? Did you all see that bit of Jackson filling water? I didn't see that, but that sounds pretty funny. Quintez Cephas torching. No, Nathan. Kevin King is so goddamn bad. Yeah, Scotty Miller's that guy's father. Tyler Lockett again. Damn, he's been doing good for my team. Yeah, Tyler Lockett has been doing good. I wish I had a little bit more exposure to Tyler Lockett. I kind of came around on him as the offseason went along, but I didn't get enough Tyler Lockett in my life.
I don't know. Like it was just tough, especially an underdog because of where he was going. Like it was tough to take him over like Mike Evans and stuff like that. But man, he's proven me wrong. I should have got more exposure to him when I had the chance. What? Yeah, and I'm glad you didn't, Spicy Hot.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones
Bush's article about efficient volume. Pretty sure he made a video. Oh, right. Yeah, Ruggs is the like deep threat of the offense. The one thing though I will say about Ruggs is like, and Carr's playing well, so there's nothing against Derek Carr. Is that like the type of quarterback Derek Carr is not really in line with the type of receiver Henry Ruggs is. But at the same time, I still think if he's good at his job, which is being a deep threat, any quarterback will throw the ball deep if your guy is behind the defense by 3 yards, like Ruggs was yesterday. So, we put a lot of stock into like, oh, what quarterback works with this type of receiver and that. But like when you're just a good receiver, which I still think Ruggs is, and I think he can be, then you're going to command targets regardless.
I got a quick question for you, and it might sound pretty crazy because we kind of know like top 5 tight ends in fantasy. I mean, you got your Kelsey, you got your Waller, you got your Kittle, you got your Pitts, and you got your Hawkinson. Let's just say like that's.
I would say it's here. 4, and then it's up in the air between but like Pitts is still the favorite to be 5. I would say, but he's not a lock to be ahead of Fant and some of these other guys.
I was about to say though, like okay, like say you throw Fant at 6, then who would you have rest of the season at number 7?
Gronk.
I was about to say Gronk or Andrews.
Gronk. Yeah, no. Oh, Andrews. We didn't even talk about him. Aaron Jones touchdown.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching.
Yeah. Nice.
Very nice. I mean, this is such a cake matchup. I would hope so.
Literally such a cake matchup.
Anyways, good luck, boys. Yeah, it's actually 6 points, so I would be pretty upset if they got 5.
Fact.
But appreciate that, though. Patterson off waivers to replace one of Kirk or T. Marshall or hold tight. If you need a running back, I don't mind replacing Kirk, but like all holds aside, I'd probably just keep your wide receivers there.
Yeah, I probably don't want to mess around with Jarrett Patterson unless anything happens to Gibson or something.
Cordell Patterson.
Oh, Jared Patterson. I don't know why. I was talking about him earlier. So
Yeah,
I think I'd rather have Cordero Patterson than Christian Kirk personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's close, but again, in a more zero RB type of build, you probably want the steady receiving production out of the backfield that Patterson gives. Because at the end of the day, here in PPR, I know we talked about it all offseason, but in PPR, if you have backs that can catch the football, you can replace production.
Yep, for sure.
Like James White's a legitimate top 20 running back in PPR right now, and you got him in the 12th round.
Yep. I am 2-0 in my league. My tight ends are fucking scary. Gronk and Kelsey. Yeah, that's pretty sketch.
I mean, those are arguably the 2 best tight ends of all time.
Yeah.
Like,
would y'all trade Robert Woods for George
heartbeat.
Kittle? Absolutely. If you can get
Heartbeat.
George Kittle for Robert Woods, easily.
Yep.
Believe that he did CT. Needed 13 points from CEH. Relying on him to win is the worst feeling ever. Welcome to the club, Leo. Any Aaron Jones believers got to be happy right now. Thanks for all your help. Yeah, Aaron Jones, definitely love that. Love you as well, Javon.
Take care, Javon.
Shovel pass. Let's go. I have Rodgers.
Nice.
In my lineup, not actually like in my leagues or anything. Patterson is still a wide receiver in my league too. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he has dual eligibility doesn't really make a huge difference to me, but that's definitely helpful, I guess. Caught up. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to head out of here, watch the rest of this game. Take it easy, y'all. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we got waiver wires bright and early, and then we got trade targets a little bit later in the afternoon. So take it easy. Peace out.
Peace.